Michigan. I'm back to Columbus Friday morning to be able to do services this evening, but the weather is dictating that I am here in Michigan for at least a day or two, and we get to do services from here. Also, I don't have my computer with me, so this is pre-recorded. It's actually Friday morning right now. But we're going to join together, hopefully in the comments section on Facebook or on YouTube or on our website. We will celebrate Shabbat and day 6 of Hanukkah together, and we'll be in person again together next Friday to be able to celebrate. So we're going to begin our service on Shabbat and Hanukkah by singing Hine Ma Tov, how good it is that we are together. Hine Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad 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 Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. We'll do a little bit of an abbreviated service this evening because we are online only. But we'll light the candles together. If you have Shabbat candles, you can light those on your own because I don't have any. But I do have a beautiful Hanukkah menorah, and we'll be lighting the Hanukkah candles. And why don't we do that right now? Just get it there. Okay. Oops, and let's gotta turn around here. Let's go like this. That's the way we want it. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu ve'imotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Play ball. I don't do that, but isn't that beautiful? Night 6 of Hanukkah has been a very different one for our family, but nice to celebrate the light regardless of where we are. Why don't we sing one of my favorite songs for Hanukkah, Ma'ot Sur. Ma'ot Sur Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati V'sham Toda Nizabeach. Let's sing this actually in a different key that I can actually sing. Here we go. Let's try this again. Here we go. Oh gosh, lost the capo. Okay, let's try this. Ma'ot Sur Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati V'sham Toda Nizabeach V'yet Tachin Matbeach Mitzar HaMelabeach Az Egmor B'shir Mizmor Hanukkah HaMizbeach Az Egmor B'shir Mizmor Hanukkah HaMizbeach. Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amid the raging foe were our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. All right, well, why don't we do one more Hanukkah song at the beginning of the service here? Classic. Let's do this together. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sippy phone to play with, and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sippy phone to play with, and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us days long ago. Well, this is the time to light your Shabbat candles. If you have them there, you can light them now. And we can say together the blessing, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Invite everyone to take a deep breath. See if you can maybe let go of some of that stress that may have accumulated upon your shoulders this past week. This time of year, as winter is setting in, there are feelings perhaps of loss and darkness. And one of the beautiful reasons that we have Hanukkah at this time of year is to provide a little more light when we perhaps need it most. And we also have Shabbat to give us a little bit of light as well. And hopefully we'll have Sammy also. Hey, Sammy! Maybe not. Let me see if... Sammy Barlove, you want to help? Now's your time. Hello. Here's Sammy. Hey. Sammy, this is the congregation here. Oh gosh, I'm losing my stuff. Sammy, say hi to the congregation. Hi, congregation. Okay, that's cool. Here, why don't you sit in this chair, and I will move over here. Oh, we're missing a piece of this. All right, well, we'll just do this without a capo. All right, so we're going to do Am I Awake? And let's see. Yeah, why don't you look right in that camera, and you can sing, Sammy. Let me get this capo fixed for a moment. Tell everyone, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, I was like, okay, that's cool. All right, here we go. We got this. All right, ready? Okay.
Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Lie, 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 gotta 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 lie, lie, lie. Barechu et Adonai, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed
Le'olam Va'ed.
Gotta lie, 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 gotta lie, lie, lie. Sammy, what do you love about Hanukkah?
Presents.
Oh, what else? Just presents.
Family.
That's nice. Latkes?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Guest cantor, Sammy Barlev. If you have a prayer book with you, we're on page 34. We'll join together in singing Shema. Shema HaYisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed. On the next page, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlachtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'hisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'lohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim L'hiot Lahem L'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Well, since this is a pre-recorded service, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's hard to get smachot from the community that I can talk about. But you can certainly take some time right now to, if you're watching this service, to put that in the comments so all of us who are watching along with you can share in those joys. So if you have a simcha, if you have something that happened that's positive in the last week or weeks, go ahead and put it in the comments right now so we can celebrate each other, so we can celebrate being together, and so we can celebrate all the goodness in our lives. And as we do that, we're going to turn to the Mi Chamocha prayer, which you can find in your book on page 40. Well, we're going to turn to the Amidah part of the service, and there's a section of the service of the Amidah that talks about Hanukkah. There's a special Hanukkah insert and tells the story of the two different miracles that we celebrate. We'll talk about those in just a little bit. But if you are inclined to rise wherever you are, you can certainly do that. Because I have no camera person here, I'm just going to stay where I am, but I'll spiritually rise. And we'll invite you to join us here on page 46 if you would like. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. On page 50. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Sohomech noflim ve'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech memit umechayeh umat miach Yeshua v'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Ahata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You may take a few moments for some silent prayer and meditation, and we'll continue in just a moment with Osei Shalom. Osei Shalom bimromah, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I had intended to do a sermon. It's right here, but I'm thinking it just feels weird, being that this is pre-recorded and feels strange. So I thought, as I was singing through the service here, I thought maybe instead we could do just a brief exercise. I think everyone knows the story of Hanukkah, but just a brief recap is the Jews were living in Jerusalem, living actually throughout all of Israel, but in Jerusalem, and the Assyrian Greek king Antiochus came in and told the Jews and that they couldn't be Jewish anymore, essentially. No more Brit Milah, no more observing Shabbat. Their rights were stripped slowly away until finally the temple was taken from them. The story is more layered than we often talk about, because there were some Jews who were more Hellenized, who were more secular, who didn't push back against this. But there were a group of Jews who were more zealous, and they are what we call now the Hasmonean family, the Maccabee family, got together and got a group of kind of ragtag farming Jews together, and after some time of training and getting ready, were able to have this huge military victory with a tiny army against a very large and very well-armed army. That's why we sing, not by might, not by power, but by spirit alone. It wasn't the might or the power of the army that was able to reclaim the temple, but it was our spirits and the godliness and the idea that we wanted to reclaim what was ours. And that's the big miracle of Hanukkah. And then we have the second miracle, which is the miracle of the light. And that the miracle of the light lasting for 8 days has become, I think, maybe the most significant piece of Hanukkah. It's the reason we fry everything in oil during this time of year. But I think it's also one of the most meaningful objects in the story, the idea that light can endure in darkness. So I thought what we could do is, if you would feel comfortable in the comments, you can do it now or throughout the rest of the service, if you could share one thing that brings you light in perhaps these dark times. So many of you know that we've had a lot of dark times since my father passed away this summer in my family, yet we've tried time and time again to find light with each other and with our community. So if you could share something, it doesn't have to be as sad as that, but if you could share what gives you light in these dark times, that would be really fun to read those in the comment section. And we'll do that. Talking about wanting to give light to one another, we're going to turn to our Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for those who are in need of healing. And as always, we have quite a long list this evening. On this evening, we are thinking of the healing of Marilyn Altman, Lynn Adams, Susan Bader, Sarah Bates, Deborah Belford, Barbara Belford, Brandon Berman, Marjorie Block, Barbara Bobanich. We're thinking of Paul Branson, Dan Kristen, Marge Serrani, Dorothy Collins, Lily Kovitz, Adrian Crawford, Gary Dicker, Tony Diegler, Ella Dubrow, Carrie Ebert. We're thinking of Sylvia Eckstein, Elaine Alec, Nancy Emmerman, Rachel Ensign, Marvin Epstein, Rachel Fiorelli, Michael Fiorelli, Rachel Fish, Olivia Glick, Ken Goldman. We're thinking of Rachel Goldman Mosley, Gladys Goodman, Jimmy Green, David Haas, David Hirsch, Neil Johnson, Katie Jones, Jamie Grace Cash, Don Kerr, Peter Levy, Barb Lucas, Fred Martin, Minna Melton, Caleb Moses, Susan Northrup, Robert Oakley, Nick Parisi, and Marvin Pate, Merle Perlow, Aaron Phelan, Ian Phillips, Rashi Prastovsky. We're thinking of Jessica Rathkoff, William J. Rees, Larry Reamer, Barry Richmond, Emma Rose, Irving Rose, Phyllis Rutman, June Sahara, Ralph Sauer, Dawn Schneer and Steve Schneer, Aminadath Salah and Karen Silverman, Yehudit Bat Simcha, Richard Scher, Jonas Snyder. We're thinking of Ruth Ann Stewart, Pam Storer, Lou Sipowitz, Joyce Schwartzman, Andrea Tuber, and Randy Cohn Weinstock. I'm sure there are others who you are thinking of for healing this evening, And if you'd like to put their names in the comments section, then we as a community can hold those names up in prayer and in goodness. We can offer them what's most important, and that is a reach out, a touch, a prayer, an affirmation that they are someone who we love. Let's sing together, Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor Havracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And let us say You can find our concluding prayers beginning with Aleinu on page 282 if you have a prayer book. And if you are able to rise, this would be the time to do it. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gidula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kagayei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, V'gohor aleinu kachol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Bayom hahu, yihya Adonai echad, u'shemo, Ushemo Echad. However dark the times may be around us, those who were once with us provide light and warmth to us always, even as they no longer walk this earth. On this Shabbat at Temple Beth Shalom, we are recalling the recent deaths of Richard Ackley, Jim Brisk, Carol Flegel, Phyllis Kirschbaum, Jeff Lipkin, Suzanne Osborne, Dane Perlstein, and Janet Sunderman. And we remember those who died of this season in years past. We take them into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat we are thinking of Emmons Abeles, Betty Edelstein, Nathaniel Edelstein, Jackson Axelrod, Rose Block, Sarah Serrani, Francis Freed, Connie Freundlich, Lee Hinton, Charles Hirsch, Susan Himes, W. Jarvis, Craig Kleiman, George Krasa, Bruce Luntz, Samuel Milstein, Edith Miner, Linda Rich, Marilyn Salen, Paul Snyder, Marilyn Salen, Paul Schneider, Miriam Schwartz, Irving Sussner, Robert Williams, and Regina Zimmer. If you have other folks who you are remembering for Kaddish, then I invite you to put their names right there in our comment section so that we too can mourn together and support one another in our time of mourning. We can find our Kaddish prayer on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach yiratei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yamechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'yvman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yidromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudasham barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru. Amen. May the source of comfort bring peace to us, to all who are mourning among us. May we always bring our loved ones with us wherever we go. Together we say, Amen. Our closing song this evening is going to be a camp classic, a Debbie Friedman classic, and it's called Not by Might. We sang it last Friday night also at our Hanukkah celebration. So if you know it, sing along. Not by might, not by power, but by Spirit alone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thanks for joining us online tonight. Back to normal next Friday night in the sanctuary. Oh, and please come to see the beautiful Ten Commandment windows above the Ark have been reinstalled after a couple of years of hiatus. So hope you'll come back to see those and to be together next Friday night, December 30th. We'll see you then. Shabbat Shalom. Bye-bye.